How are you guys doing today? It's Anthony Ganji, host of Tier Talk. And today we're going to discuss a very interesting story that I found on Corrections One. But I'm not going to really contest what's written in the article. I'm basically going to use that as a topic for discussion. So, California, female officer, pregnant, claims that she was refused light duty, wind up responding to a code. She fell. Subsequently, she lost her baby. So, question immediately comes to my mind. Do we have any policies in regards to how we assign pregnant women or pregnant officers at the workplace? And I posted this up on multiple groups on social media. The article was also posted on Corrections One. And responses are pretty much universally no. When dealing with the pregnant officer, it seems to be a lot of accepted practices, I think, that originate from our closeness, our family that says, hey, we'll watch out for you. We'll support you. You want to have a family, we'll support that. And there's a lot of frontline maneuvering, if you will, in order to accommodate officer who is pregnant. It's just what we do as a family, what we're supposed to do, I believe, as a family. And when we get back, I want to discuss this a little more into how we accommodate a female who is pregnant at the workplace. And I think it's an interesting topic. I learned a lot. I really did. I learned a lot. And I want to bring this discussion to you guys. And guys, feel free to comment. If you guys do have a policy, I would love to know about that. I really would. So before we go to our sponsors, guys, don't forget, if you get a chance, please subscribe, interact, engage, and comment. Those comments are important. And don't forget, man, hit that bell. And when you subscribe, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. I stand by for our sponsors.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it. It's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Being a corrections officer takes its toll on even the strongest individuals. The constant need to perform at the highest level, putting your life at risk in a hostile environment, and the mental scarring of traumatic experiences. 31% of corrections officers show symptoms of PTSD, and 66% of people with PTSD also suffer with a substance abuse problem. The Transformations First Responders program is specially designed to help veterans and officers heal from the grips of addiction and PTSD in a comfortable, supportive, and serene setting. You are not alone. If you have questions about the services we offer, give us a call at 866-762-8454 to get more information on this affordable and life-changing program.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsors. So anyway, very unique situation. Females denied light duty at the job, and then code happens. She runs to the code, she gets hurt, falls, and subsequently loses the baby. And if you look at the comments, especially on the group Correctional Officer Brotherhood, I like that group. It's like 45, 50,000 members, very good responses and very rapid responses. And obviously they're informed responses because it comes from people within the field. And, you're getting kind of a little bit of a back and forth. Some feeling that the onus is on her, she shouldn't have ran. And then there's some saying shame on management for not giving her light duty. Now, my thing is, light duty really cannot be offered in corrections. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are positions that could be seen as light duty because they have minimal to no inmate contact. So when you look at how you judge light duty, that's the key, the inmate contact. So there are going to be some positions that have no inmate contact whatsoever, like a tower. A tower is not going to have inmate contact, obviously. Bubbles, control points, you're secured in an area. Working in administration may not have inmate contact, but again, you have to look at the positions that are going to be available on all shifts. So like an administrative position that requires an officer may not be available on later shifts because administration may only work, let's say, 8 to 4. Usually the towers, obviously they're needed on all shifts. Control points are needed on all shifts. And when I say a control point, I'm talking about the person in a bubble that controls the cell doors for the officers on the floor. Now, when we deal with understaffing, we have a concern because in some cases, that person who's working that control bubble may also be the person that works the floor, especially during the overnight shifts. And I always thought that was a problem. I think that's a serious problem. But if done correctly, the officer, before they leave that bubble, should be relieved to go onto the floor. So in this case here, maybe the person that does the relief for that officer to get him on the floor will actually be the one that tours the floor and keeps that officer inside the bubble. But with that said, there's just a common practice amongst us. And maybe that's why there really isn't a definitive policy, because we don't challenge it. We step up and do what we do because we're family. And the supervisors, if they know that there's a post that, could be seen as light duty, like I said, a post that requires minimal to no inmate contact whatsoever, management or the supervisor, let's say the sergeant, will take care of that officer saying, hey, listen, if something happens, don't worry, we'll cover it. Because the reason why I say there's no such thing as light duty is because we have to respond. So even though the post may be considered light duty, there could always be a chance that that person may be needed to respond. So there is some maneuvering from front line to tell that individual, hey, we got your back, stay here, we got you. And if you have a bidded position, sometimes the officers will stand up and rotate with other officers to help the pregnant female, especially when they start to show. So again, it's just a quick conversation. I guess there may not be a policy. Hopefully, as I said, please comment if you do have one. But what we're doing now is mostly common courtesy to kind of help out our sister who wants to have a family. And we do that, right? We're family, we do that. And I would even encourage that as a supervisor. If officers are bid and that happens to be a post that could be seen as, I guess you want to say light duty, well, then we could rotate those out as long as the officers are okay with that. And most likely they will be. I've never had an issue with an officer telling me that they wouldn't do it. Hey, can you walk the floor for me today because this female's pregnant? Not a problem, Gans, you got that. So again, I'm not going to question this female's response because, again, sometimes we just have it in us to do the job that we have to get done. I mean, I would be aware of my condition, but again, I don't believe that there is a form of light duty in corrections. I believe that ultimately we would be required to respond, and it's kind of up to frontline supervisors and with the cooperation of frontline staff to protect that. So even if she went to upper management and said, hey, give me some form of light duty, I guess officially on paper, they may not be able to do that because maybe there is nothing that they would consider light duty because of the fact that you may have to respond. So I think that what we do technically is just we handle it on our end between the frontline supervisor and frontline staff who again are willing to accommodate. So it kind of gets to me a little bit because, and again, I'm not contesting what happened here, but most of the stuff that's happening in regards to how a pregnant officer is assigned and how they're protected is really done by the frontline supervisor with the cooperation of frontline staff, which means that, hey, I'll put you in this area today, and if there's a response, don't worry about it. We got it. The supervisor will say, hey, we got it. Don't worry about it. Or, hey, I got you into this post today. Such and such officer was willing to switch up with you. So again, that will put you in the control booth. So don't worry if there's a code. We got it. So a lot of it is pretty much at the discretion of the frontline supervisor, and of course with cooperation from frontline staff, because there is no policy. So I would love to get your comments on this, please. So guys, remember the show I do, Tier Talk, it's for you guys, the brave men and women who work behind that wall on that front line. So if you haven't, guys, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, and hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. Thought this was a very good conversation, very unique. And as always, guys, the show is Tear Talk. My name is Anthony Ganji. Stay safe.